Hi, I'm Adelie.
And I'm Phil, and you're watching Our Daily Faith.
Do, 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 do. We had a couple people ask us to do some more videos about marriage, so we're going to talk a little bit more about that today. Not that we know everything or are experts, because we are totally not. Recently, I was talking to my mentor, and she said she has found when her and her husband get stuck in their marriage, it often helps when they do some personal development, some personal healing, and when they each work on their own stuff, they find their marriage gets better. Fast forward to like just a couple of weeks ago, and my mom said the same thing to me. And then we read somewhere, I think, and it said, a relationship can only be as healthy as the least healthy person. And I don't know if it's a scientific fact. I don't know if it's true for everybody or whatever. And I think there's still lots of hope for relationships that maybe one person wants to get healthy and the other one doesn't, and which often happens. I think though that when one partner starts, it makes a really big difference when you focus on your own stuff and stop focusing on what your partner is doing wrong. When I stop focusing on what I feel you are doing wrong and start focusing on my own stuff, our relationship does get better. And it's not that it fixes everything, but I honestly don't have any control over what you do. I only have control over myself. Do you know something else that has really stuck with me in the last couple of years was I read somewhere that you are either contributing to your marriage or relationship or you're contaminating it. And I realized that for myself, like when I focus on what's hurting me, what he's doing that's hurting me, I often feel like it justifies my own behavior. Perhaps bad attitude or criticism or contempt towards you, but then I am contaminating the relationship. When the first time I heard that, I thought, wow, like that's quite an incredible statement when you think about it. If I'm contaminating the relationship, then I'm in the wrong. How am I going to contribute to a better relationship? How am I going to get to that destination if I keep in that pattern of behavior? So I needed to shift my mindset, shift towards focusing on how I was contributing or contaminating, and worked more towards contributing positively. It meant a lot of personal work and a lot of forgiveness, and I firmly believe that forgiveness it's not forgiving and forgetting, but it is choosing. It's a choice to forgive someone, a choice not to hold it against them. And faith-wise, for me, it means that I'm not holding myself as judge over the other person. And what right do I have to hold myself as judge over the other person? And also needing to ask for forgiveness and saying I'm sorry for things that I was doing and take responsibility for those things. I find with our kids too, we've had lots of practice at saying sorry to them for things because, let's face it, we mess up as parents. And something that has always been really important to me is saying sorry to my kids when I mess up.
I know for me, one of the pitfalls, like when I've tried to change myself, is that I get into this habit of like, all right, I'm reading these books. I'm going to change. I'm going to make our relationship better. And then I hit the same negative pattern that we've had. I'm like, why did I put all this time and effort into changing? Because I changed, she hasn't changed. Forget about it.
I will say a warning. I cannot change based on the expectation that he will change, because honestly, the first number of times that I do something different, he doesn't change. It takes a while for me to create that new habit, that new pattern, for you to start responding differently. I think that's just natural. I'm sure it's vice versa. I'm sure when you start doing things differently, when I'm expecting it to go one way and you suddenly do it another way, I'm kind of steamrolling already that way. So the first few times I'm going to be like, I might continue on that, but eventually I stop expecting it to go that way and it starts to change. One person can have a lot of effect in a relationship. I think that's true in our marriage anyway. What helps me to continue with changing my behavior when maybe I'm still not getting the reactions that I want, when things still don't seem to be really improving, I actually focused on my own personal values. I had read somewhere, it talked a little bit about what are your own personal values, and when you don't live up to your personal values, then you often feel some inner shame, some guilt. You often then will try to blame people to try to distance yourself from that. I was totally falling into that. I was blaming you for a lot of things, which wasn't fair. I wrote down what are my personal values? And one of my personal values is very much is to love other people. It's really important to me, and I don't always do it well, but I'm working on it. It's really important to me to love my family. And so when I looked at that, I thought, I am not living up to my own personal value if I am contaminating, if I am not contributing positively to our relationship, no matter what he is doing. And so it helped me to push through that was I want to live up to my own personal values because then I feel good about who I am.
So I'm just curious, like what's one thing that you would like to work on in your relationship? What's a book that you might read or that you recommend or maybe even recommend to us to read that you really enjoyed and that helped you a lot in your relationship?
Yeah, we'd just love for you to send us any questions that you have. It's definitely not that we have all the answers because we absolutely don't, but we can perhaps add one perspective, our own, to your journey. And
thanks for everybody who have been watching and following along. Appreciate your messages.
Thank you so much for watching. We really do appreciate it.
You can watch the next video right about here.
And if you like this video, click the like button.
Subscribe here.
And leave a comment below.
And